Newegg.com. Newegg.com is an online computer, consumer electronics, and communication products superstore offering the wide...
Only on GameSHOUT Radio.
And now, it's time for the GameSHOUT technology news and reviews. Taking your questions live, the GameSHOUT Technology Show.
Welcome to Technology Today. This show is brought to you by Newegg.com. Newegg.com is an online computer, consumer electronics, and communication products superstore offering the widest product selection of IT and CE brands in the industry. At Newegg, consumers can find product information, how-tos, customer reviews, and opportunities for community interaction. That's Newegg. That's Newegg.com. And now your host of the show, Soulrift and Jadri.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Technology Today, brought to you by Newegg. I'm your host, Soulrift. With me is my co-host, the effervescent Jadri, and we've also got Captain Maverick and the rest of the team here in the studio. We've got some really interesting technology news for you tonight. All the latest headlines and developments and various technology stuff. Of course, as was mentioned, Firefox 1.5 is now available. You can download it. I already have. I don't know if anyone else has picked it up yet.
I grabbed it.
Well, I was about to, but then I had to get my news together, so, you know.
Have you noticed anything different, Jadri? Have you been trying it out?
I haven't really noticed much immediately different. I've been playing with a release candidate for a while already, so there wasn't a particular lot I saw different between 0.4 and even 0.5. I noticed they kind of changed the way the buttons look on the top now as a first visual look.
Right, but of course Firefox has always been skinnable. I've actually downloaded a different theme called the Noya Extreme theme that kind of gives you nice sort of 3D rounded buttons that I like. I've seen a lot of different themes you can get for Firefox, make it look just the way you like. Make it yourself if you're artistic. Unfortunately, I'm not. So it is out, and there are some significant advantages, and advances, I should say. There's a lot of security enhancements and bug fixes, of course, as each release comes out. There's a lot of updates to the drag and drop and browsing tabs. The tabbed browsing, which was always been a big feature of Firefox, has been given some improvements. And the automatic updating feature has been overhauled, really. It used to be that you just have a little button that would show up, and if you remembered to click it, you'd get the updates. Now you have the option of turning on automatic updates that will download and update the software without you having to say anything if you want. I mean, there's a lot of options in the new automatic update features. You can have it just let it inform you that there's an update, or you can have it update it for you without having to worry about it. So there's some...
Yeah. I had that actually happen to me. I was using a release candidate 2, and I think a day or the day that release candidate 3 came out, I was sitting there, and then all of a sudden this window just pops up and says, hey, I downloaded Firefox release candidate 1.5.3 or release candidate 3 for it. You know, restart and I'll install it.
Yeah, it's nice.
Alright.
It's nice. So there is a lot of updates for Firefox. If you haven't installed it yet, now's the great time to do it. You just go to mozilla.org or firefox.com, and they've updated their website. So, it's right there, big download button.
Yeah, but you can't just like, you know, click inside your Firefox and like update now or anything like that, can you?
Well,
no, in fact, just to give you an idea, since the show started, I went to is it Get Firefox?
Yep.
Yeah, getfirefox.com. Firefox.com also links to that, and mozilla.org is their main site.
It's a real simple install. I just closed out of Firefox, ran their install that you download, and I have it set up now. It only took me about a minute and a half.
Yeah, it's only a 5 meg download for the Windows operating system. I think it's 8 or 9 megs for Mac OS X, but it's only 5 megs for Windows, which is most of us, and especially because since we're gamers after all. and it installs really fast, really easy. You don't have to do any configuration at all. You just click install and it's done.
Well,
that's the beauty of it.
Right now, as we speak, and I'll tell you how easy it happens. Okay, I'm downloading it now.
The play-by-play.
Well, no, play-by-play.
While Mav's downloading it, here's a fun fact. You can also download the source code and compile it yourself. You know, if you're paranoid about any sort of viruses and you want to check every little line of source code, well, you can do that. However, the source code is zipped up at 33 megs, so it's a lot bigger to get the source code than the actual program.
What do you need to compile that and stuff?
Well, I would assume that it's programmed in C or C++. I don't actually know. I just have the file here. It's a zipped tarball. It's 33 megs, but I don't know what's in it, and I'm not a programmer, so I wouldn't know even if I opened it up.
That's huge.
Yeah, but we have to remember that Firefox is very interesting. It's an open source project, which means anyone can contribute their code to the Firefox project. So if they want to see a new feature, say some user just said, well, I like these tabbed browsers, but I want to be able to drag and drop my tabs, well, they can program that feature. They can go to the Firefox development site, and you can just upload your code, and it'll get reviewed by the project coordinators and potentially added to the public distribution of Firefox.
Very cool. All right, well, I've downloaded Firefox 1.5, and now I am clicking Open, and it's opening up, and welcome to Mozilla Firefox. Click Next, accept the terms of the agreement, standard install, and bang. And it's, well, done.
That's it, easy as pie. It didn't even hurt.
No pain.
Yeah, and Maverick usually cries during installs.
Yeah, usually I do. Now, I'm launching Mozilla Firefox right now, 1.5, and holy crap, my system just crashed. No, I'm kidding, I'm just kidding. It looks the same to me. What's different?
Well, in addition to those security features, there are two new, very interesting additions. One of them is support for SVG, or scalable vector graphics, and that's like vector graphics is essentially when you supply the mathematical algorithms to create the graphics. Anyone who's ever worked with Flash knows what I'm talking about. I actually find them kind of fun to work with. And there's also support for rendering pixels. Now this would mean that you can render graphics within a web page. And I really don't know how to describe this other than it's like a web page with a little window in it that you can render 3D graphics in. And it's actually embedded as part of the web page, and it's the browser that's doing the rendering. There's a demo of this available at CanvasScape, which is it's a big long URL, www.abrahamjoff.com.au/ben/CanvasScape. I'll post this to the website so you can check it out. But it's like a little first-person shooter. It's got the Counter-Strike rifle in it, but otherwise it's just flat walls, and you can just walk around, and it's just really weird because here you are in a web browser, and you can make a 3D game in there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it really could change the way we have, web-based games. A lot of people play these web-based games where it's just like, you click on links and it says you attack someone, and it's like those really old-style role-playing games. But this could actually make like first-person shooters integrated directly into the web browser. You don't have to download or install anything. You just open it up in Firefox and off you go and play.
Very, very cool.
So there are a lot of cool things. So this what I was just talking about here. It's a demo of a third-person rendered game. It's called CanvasScape. Again, the URL, if you happen to check it out, is www.abrahamjoff.com.au/ben/CanvasScape, and I'll upload it to the web browser. Maybe Josh will see this in the website of the week. Of course, you have to have Firefox 1.5 to actually see this. But it is kind of cool, you just walk around with the arrows, and that's that. So that's the 1.5 release of Firefox. If you don't have it yet, now's the great time to go get it. And so yeah, What do you guys think of that so far?
So far, I'm pretty impressed.
Well, it looks like it's mainly just everything under the hood right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to send something out to the team there. There's actually only one S in Canvascape. It's Canvas and then Cape, I guess. Alright, so that's our news for Firefox. There's also some interesting news coming out of the hurricane region down in New Orleans. Yes, some final updates here. New Orleans is planning on rolling out a citywide utility Wi-Fi. So all those homes wrecked in the hurricane disaster, which it'd be difficult to wire them all up again with cable internet perhaps. Well, the city's going to be offering wireless internet throughout the city. It's going to be clocked initially at 512 kilobits per second. However, Louisiana state laws limit municipal broadband access to 128 kilobits, so after it's out of state of emergency it'll be slowed down a bit. It's still pretty cool that you'll be able to have access to wireless internet anywhere in New Orleans. It's hoped that rolling out the wireless internet access throughout the city will help revitalize the city's economy, especially in this time of reconstruction efforts. So that's another interesting little bit of news. Most of the technology for this has been supplied by companies like Intel and Tropos Networks and Pronto Networks. The mayor, Ray Nagin, who was harshly criticized during the actual disaster, well, hopefully he'll be able to change face and really help out building up the city with this new internet wireless access. And really, we're seeing this happening more and more around the world. Cities like Seattle, Philadelphia, and San Francisco have also done this sort of citywide Wi-Fi access as a city utility. Maybe it's the way of the future. There's still a lot of technical problems with Wi-Fi, specifically, like the limited range. It was never designed to be offered as a city utility. It's always been intended, within an office building, not within a whole city. So you have to put these access points pretty much everywhere in the whole city, and there's still going to be a lot of blind zones.
Yeah, we've got Wi-Fi in several hotspots throughout Grand Rapids, up where I live, up north, in the northern tundra and the cold. I like it down here where it's warm. Anyhow, but yeah, there's a lot of Wi-Fi hotspots up in Grand Rapids, and it's the thing. The whole city's being wired.
Yes, it is, and it's becoming more and more popular with games and stuff. Of course, you've got the Game Boy DS that has Wi-Fi access. But that wasn't the first one to do Wi-Fi, actually. Maybe you remember way back in the days, the first portable gaming thing, or I shouldn't say first, but the first game/portable phone unit released in October 2003, the Nokia N-Gage. Well, the Nokia is planning on letting their N-Gage die a quiet death.
That's good.
Oh.
Indeed. The N-Gage was, it was really limited by certain technical problems. For example, you had to remove the battery in order to change the game in the original release of the unit. They released a new updated version in 2004, which changed a lot of the flaws, but, really people haven't been picking up the N-Gage quite as much as Nokia had hoped for. They've only sold about 2 million units compared to predictions of at least 6 million, and they're pretty much going to be phasing this out. So, although they're still going to be producing N-Gage units, especially for the somewhat vibrant markets in China and India, they're not really going to be developing the technology significantly in the future, and they'll be focusing their efforts elsewhere.
So yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, well, if you have an N-Gage, maybe you've got a little bit of, gamer trivial history, like a Dreamcast or something, but
an old Dreamcast, very Dreamcast not that old.
Well, the N-Gage wasn't that old either. It was a 2003 release, so. But
Yeah,
Nokia
I know.
is releasing some other cool technology. They're releasing the new Nokia 9300i, which is sort of a smartphone. Now these smartphones, they come in kind of two varieties. There's the cell phones that are smart, and then they've got these PDAs that are sort of phones. Now my friend actually has one of these, what are they called? The Palm, that's it. The Palm Trio, which is like a Palm Pilot, but it's got a phone built into it. And it looks really silly when he's like holding it up and he's talking on it as a phone, but he's got this giant screen right next to his cheek.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. I think you had some interest in those Palm products, didn't you, Mav?
Well, yeah, I've got the Life Drive, the Palm Life Drive.
Right. But can you imagine holding it up and talking to it?
No. I looked at the BlackBerry phone thing, and it's like, that's awkward. It's just not. It just doesn't seem comfortable. And I don't know. I couldn't see talking into it. I guess I could see talking into it as a a speakered type of device.
Right. Well, the Nokia 9300i, this looks a lot more interesting. It's shaped like a traditional cell phone. You've got the back of it, you've got the front of it with the dial-up buttons and the little tiny screen. What happens is you open this thing, you fold it open, straight down the middle. Not like a flip-open phone. It's hard to describe. It's opened up lengthwise, and it folds open. The top is a screen, and the bottom is a full-sized keyboard. So you have all the advantages of the screen and keyboard for the smart functions, text messaging, email, and yet when you fold it up, it's like a normal cell phone. So I think that's going to be a lot more popular with users because it doesn't look so odd when you're using it in the phone function.
Now, what I'd like to see is something like, how they had the whole just like Vonage, how they have voice over IP for phones like that. Well, I'd like to see almost a wireless, just using a wireless internet, using Wi-Fi, converting cell phone towers to Wi-Fi, and then you just use those for having a handheld voice over IP phone.
That is very interesting, and it's quite possible that this Nokia 9300i will support that because it does support Wi-Fi LAN 802.11g Wi-Fi, so it can connect to the popular Wi-Fi networks, and potentially maybe someone will put out software for these sort of phones to make VoIP calls. So there's always room for improvements in the future. It doesn't say that it's going to have this particular feature in this particular phone. It will be optimized for tri-band networks, which is what they mostly use in Europe and Asia, as well as GSM networks in America. Hopefully this phone will be available throughout the world on whatever wireless network you happen to be near. Of course, it's got to be one of those digital high-tech ones, not the old standard analog, or all you'll get is just plain old voice, none of those fancy digital features. The problem with me in cell phones, though, is that I find the cell phones are just still so expensive, because on top of the phone and on top of the monthly charges, and you've got to start paying for network access fees, and you got to start paying for bundling fees, and then they make every little feature a value-added feature, like call display, an extra $5. You want text messaging? Well, it's like $1 per message. I can't believe the amount that they charge for cell phones.
Oh yeah. I mean, I personally, I stayed with this phone company I was with because they keep giving me the free incoming phone calls. I mean, why should I have to pay for a call if somebody calls me? Oh, wait a minute, there's somebody else. Never mind.
That's a good deal.
Well, I actually canceled my cell phone service beginning in November. So actually, 3 weeks ago today, I canceled my cell phone.
Yeah, we haven't been able to reach you ever since. Thanks a lot, pal.
Well, I like it this way. I can get in my car, I can drive away somewhere, and as long as I'm not near a Wi-Fi spot...
Andy, get him a pager.
My computer doesn't... Well, if they brought Wi-Fi here to Florida, of course, I'd be pageable anywhere I go, because of course I got my laptop with the Wi-Fi, and I'd have MSN Messenger everywhere I go, and boy, that would be free, wouldn't it? Unless they start charging you 10 cents per MSN message.
Ooh.
Ooh.
you better forward this email to 10 people or else they'll do it. You know what I'm saying?
Jeez.
Well, we got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we've got some news about the Xbox 360. And we've got some of that right after this.
Millions of people love Newegg.com. Go on that website and check it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. There's a whole testimonial page. People are using the L word when it comes to Newegg.com. They say love. I love Newegg.com. How is Newegg.com earning this kind of devotion? Well, they sell computers, components, and electronics. That's true. But it's the great price. It's the huge selection. It's the fair shipping. And it's because the customer service is so great. They actually care about your satisfaction. They have video cards, routers, wireless networking equipment, DVD players, hard drives, software, digital cameras, and unbelievable fair shipping. So, I can't sing the praises of Newegg.com enough, and neither can anyone else. So whether you need a motherboard or the mother of all TVs, go to Newegg.com. You'll see what their millions of happy customers are raving about. Once you know, Newegg.com.
And welcome back to GameSHOUT Radio. This is Technology Today, brought to you by Newegg, and this is the Tech Show. I am your host, Soulrift. With me is my annoying compatriot, Jadri, and of course,
you're mean.
Oh, he's just mad because I messaged him after I mentioned the 10 cents per MSN. I just spammed out a couple 10-cent messages at him.
Yeah, my system started beeping, beep, 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 beep. I'm like, what? Is Mav panicking about something? Have I screwed up? And have I gone over time? And then it was Jadri, like, making some silly 10 cents a message joke.
Hey, I work with what I'm given.
Well, as you know, the Xbox 360 came out 1 week ago today, and if you haven't got your unit, you probably won't, unless you'll settle for a core system.
Oh?
Oh.
I'm not settling.
In fact, many companies... Oh, no, and that's the funny thing is that no one seems to be. A lot of companies, such as Best Buy, they've been actually getting a lot of cancellations for pre-orders for their core systems. And so they've been calling customers who pre-ordered a premium system and asking them, hey, look, we're not going to get a premium system for a while, but we do have some of these core systems. Would you like one of these instead? And the answer, time and time again, is no.
They're not going to sell. The difference between... The cost difference between the two doesn't really justify going down to a core system.
Well, moreover, the core system isn't even like the whole thing. You can't even play any of the old backwards compatibility stuff because, of course, you need the hard drive to get the Xbox emulator for the Xbox 360. So it's this whole division of systems between the core system and the premium system. I think this is just going to cost Microsoft a lot of headaches in the future.
A lot of headaches.
A lot of headaches. And
I know I went into Best Buy a couple of days before launch, and I was just playing with the in-store demo one, and the store manager walked up to me and said, yeah, if you're going to pre-order, just don't pre-order one of the core systems, just simply because it has such it lacks, it's like a half an Xbox 360. You're getting an Xbox 180.
The bundle here, it costs you an extra $100, but it gives you the hard drive, and the hard drive's already worth about $100, possibly more. And along with that, it gives you the wireless controller, about $50, the high-definition cables, which you need to use this on a high-definition television. So it's like, duh, right here, there's the main point of this system is to use it on a high-def TV. That's another $40 for the high-def cabling. The wireless media remote control, well, maybe that's not so cool, but hey, it's $30 thrown into this bundle, and a whole bunch of other, not so impressive stuff, but that's $100. The hard drive alone justifies the upgrade to the premium system.
Now, did they make it possible with the core system to install a hard drive manually, or is it still not an option on that?
Well, it is an option. You can order the hard drive separately. I've seen them sell for as much as $120. So you can either spend $100 and get the hard drive bundled, or you can save $100 so that you can spend $120 and get just the hard drive. You know, it's a mess. I can't believe what's
Wow.
going on with this. Now, another company disassembled an Xbox 360 to see whether or not Microsoft is making a profit or not on the sales. And it turns out that, just like the Xbox original, Microsoft is taking a hit of about $180 on every Xbox system sold.
Whoa!
Right. So,
Wow.
Maybe the core system isn't such a terrible thing for Microsoft after all, because if they can force people to buy the hard drive separately and effectively spend, that extra $180 on the components that really should have been in the system anyway, maybe they can recoup some of those losses. Now, the theory has always been with the Xbox, take a loss on the system, make it up on the sale of peripherals and games. Microsoft, however, is hoping that they will be able to reduce the costs in manufacturing the Xbox, so the system itself will be profitable sometime around 2008. Now, in comparison, Sony has always made a profit on every PlayStation 2 unit sold, and they could still make a profit even if they sold their units at $99.
Yeah, well, I always thought they were kind of cheap, but I wasn't going to go there. No, see, Sony, they had a head on their shoulders when it comes to making money. I'm sorry, but you're not in this to try and make it up on sales volume. It doesn't work that way. You've got to price the unit right. You can't price it for a loss. Right, and that's just, I don't know. Microsoft's their gaming division has been in the red, I think, since it was founded with the Xbox. We can only hope that Microsoft's either going to keep draining money from other stuff into developing our great games at a loss, or eventually they'll get into the black and start making a profit. Now, Mav, I know that you're in the market for a new video card, and so the Newegg Hot Deal of the Week this week is a video card, just like the one that you would want. It's an EVGA GeForce 7800 GT, and it's on sale until tomorrow at 8 p.m. 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So the sale ends November 30th, and until then you can get this brand new awesome video card for only $300. Whoa, not bad. Not bad at all.
Excellent deal from our friends at Newegg.com. So if you're looking for a brand new video card, they've got a one-day sale, ends tomorrow. GeForce 7800 GT from EVGA. Excellent card. Pick that up. So, that's about the wrap-up of tech news. We've been talking about the death of the N-Gage, the Xbox 360, Wi-Fi all around the world, and of course we've got some very interesting stuff coming up next week. We'll be talking about the hottest gadgets to get, and also about the potential for a 300 gig optical storage disc. Blu-rays 50 gigs? No way. That's it for Technology Today right here on GameSHOUT Radio.
You have been listening to Technology Today. This show is brought to you by Newegg.com. Newegg.com is an online computer, consumer electronics, and communication products superstore, offering the widest product selection of IT and CE brands in the industry. At Newegg, consumers can find product information, how-tos, customer reviews, and opportunities for community interaction. That's Newegg. That's Newegg.com. Thanks for listening.
This is GameSHOUT Radio, the #1 talk game station in the world. Visit GameSHOUT.com for more info. GameSHOUT. GameSHOUT.
ILO.com.